Hello everyone, just kind of as part of, I don't know, whatever we're all experiencing tonight, I felt like it might be appropriate to read some poetry to you all in place of like a bedtime story. It was interesting, I was talking to one of my friends this evening and saying how my son needed like a bedtime story a lot earlier than normal today, and she was saying how, well, don't we all need a bedtime story right now? And I do have a series on the channel where I read a few children's books that have been very special to my son and I over the years, but I kind of thought tonight, gee, I'd like to read something to you all. But I'd like to read some poetry to you all. I think that feels really appropriate tonight. So we're going to start, and I'm going to do this totally off the cuff, like there's going to be no rhyme or reason to what poem gets chosen. I have really connected with Sonia Vatomsky's poetry recently because I follow Hut Macabre on Instagram. Sorry for butchering that. Hut Macabre on Instagram. And she had posted in one of her like kind of inspiration posts this book of poetry by Sonia Vatomsky, Salt is for Curing, and I just got this in the mail the other day. So we're just going to like open up and I'm going to read whatever comes forward, and hopefully it just allows us to feel a sense of calm. So we're going to read Sonia Vatomsky. I'm going to read from a poet in the collection of poetry called Holocaust Poetry. And then I'm going to read some Just Minds for us. Many of you know that I've talked a little bit about his work. And I do have some Robert Winter here. I'm a huge Robert Winter fan. I also have some Denez Smith. So we'll see what we end up reading. Okay, so we're going to start with David Vogel's poem, How Can I See You, Love? How can I see you, love, standing alone amid storms of grief without feeling my heart shake? A deep night, blacker than the blackness of your eyes, has fallen silently on the world and is touching your curls. Come, my hand will clasp your dreaming hand, and I shall lead you between the nights, through the pale mists of childhood, as my father once guided me to the house of prayer. And then we're going to read from Borowski here, Farewell. Let's see. Here we go. Farewell to Maria. If you are living, remember I'm alive, but don't come to me. In this black, swollen night, snowflakes cling to the windows, and the wind whistles, and naked shapes of trees slap the window, and above me, like smoke from charred cities and battlefronts, drifts the deaf, measureless silence. This appalling silence, why have I lived so long? Now only bitterness. Don't come back to me. My love burned away in the flames of the crematorium. There you were mine. Your body covered in scabies and boils rose up like a cloud. There you were mine, from heaven, from fire. Now it's over. You won't come back to me, nor will that wind return drunk with fog. The dead will not rise from common graves, and brittle ash won't come back to life. I don't want it. Don't come back. It was all play acting, a fiction, hollow theatrics. Your love circles above me like human smoke above the wind. Now, from Just Minds One Anthem, we're just going to open and see what we get. Fabled City. The great lie of this voice, 33 years, is a faltering, a stillness, once upon, a nothing. As rock bottom as profane, the lesser fractures in the glass predate a very shiny skin only my vices methodically scaled. As a ladder break, this desire the fabric is to agree. Notation in the bow of half-formed clouds, shudder of an eye, and here again, the margin. Let's do one more from Jess because it's a little bit magical, isn't it? Harmonies. Bee rests on, railing corner rain, drops from tree. Tops plank rust into, crusted needles. Limply lashed laurel, flowers clump, parachute where, taller trees were. Extracted rays fronds as fists of purplish white swallow. tail pauses birds pitched twittering, spindly necked, stagger of ferns, tips furled, punctuate power, lines slick licorice. And then I think we'll end our readings tonight, our little bedtime story of magical poetry, with Sonia Vitomsky's book. And so I have not read this all the way through, so we're going to kind of discover this together. So let's see what we get. I'm going to start on the second course. Hypothesis. The recipe called for murder. I did not misread it. 6 sprigs fresh dill, as much salt as you can stand, and take a knife to the one that failed you. 1 whole potato, 1 whole carrot. You will not be cold this winter. You will not. Locate the joint. Move the bone back and forth. It can be hard to find the articulation point with the sobs still lodged in your throat like fish bones. Chop the dill into fine green shards. They are the forest you bury him in. They are the fog on the fallen leaves, on the wet snow on the soil. They are the wood frog and the Arctic lamprey and the brown bear leaving trails in the opposite direction. Use your knife to trim excess fat. Remove the bone with minimal damage to the meat. Turn his memory to the grounds that sit at the bottom of your porcelain cup painted in wild strawberries, a fortune-teller's ephemera. Use the tip of your knife, not the blade, lest he leave rings on you like an aging tree. In short, flicking motions. Remove the bone with minimal damage to the meat. As much salt as you can stand. Rub the way you'd rub an ache until it gives in beneath you. Little peat bog, little ore, little God. Ivan the Fool slept on an oven, and so will you. Let's do one more. Thanatos. Okay, we're going to try it again. Thanatosophia. I prefer it simple, just salt and sugar. Add the rest later. We've waited months for the sun to chase thick dust from the bookshelf. Grease my click-clack heart till it beats louder than a forgotten bomb. I've rolled the fish in salt already, buried the thing cold under spare plates, an heirloom decanter I never use but which possesses the requisite heaviness. I'm on the losing end of this already, I can tell. My own bones feel old, the winter no longer a deep buttery sleep but a flitted restlessness. A staring out the window at black piled upon black till muscles ache and eyelids droop. I wish for dreams, but they don't come. I sink into earth, but the salt surrounds me, draws out my breath so the space between seconds throbs dully. That which lasts is spread thin, the gaps filled in with vinegar. You should not be surprised that by the end the fish has shrunk, absorbed more than it contained. This is how it's supposed to be. Much love and many blessings, my dears. See you in the next video.